Mikael Parkinson, husband, father, untold stories from inside his family. Behind the limelight. Every Saturday night, millions of Britons sit down to watch Parkinson, the show where legends Lee K. Muhammad Ali, David Bowie, and Audrey Hepburn have all dropped by Britain's most famous interview chair. But behind the sharp, confident, and elegant face of the presenter, there is a very different Michael Parkinson, a man who cherishes every family meal, every morning taking his children to school, and most of all, a faithful husband for more than 60 years to his only wife, Mary Parkinson. Mary is more than just a wife. She is a companion, an editor, a silent advisor, a solid wall that has supported Michael through his brightest years and his darkest times. "I was never the famous man in my house," Michael on C said in a rare interview. "I am Mary's husband, father of 3 boys, and a porter for a punctual dinner." Meeting between the lines. Michael and Mary's love story began not on a television stage, but on the desk of a small Yorkshire newspaper. In 1955, as young journalists, they were assigned to write a social investigation together. And I was struck by how uncommunicative he was. Every 3 minutes he would get up to make tea, adjust his pen, and then turn to me and ask me some innocuous question. I thought, either he was embarrassed, or he was trying to get attention. It turned out to be both. Their love blossomed naturally, like an endless conversation. 2 years later, they were married in a small church in Barnsley, without fanfare, without expensive wedding dresses, just a few close friends and sincere vows. 3 boys and a house full of books. The Parkinsons have 3 sons, Michael Jr., Nicholas and Andrew. All 3 grew up in a home where conversation was at the heart of everything. Mary says, "Dinners were never cool yet. They were encouraged to ask questions, debate and tell stories." Michael has always believed that if you can't have a conversation with your kids, you lose them. Although his television work often took up most of his time, he always made an effort to be present for his children's events. Once, while filming with Elton John, he made time to catch Andrew's first guitar performance, even though it was just a beginner's piece. Nicholas, the second son, shared in his self-published memoir, "My dad would ask Muhammad Ali powerful questions on TV, but when he got home, he would ask me, 'How are you doing in school? Did anyone upset you?' Storms and determination. The television spotlight did not come easily. In 1979, when he was criticized for his controversial comments about women, Michael went through the most stressful and publicized period of his career. Mary did not speak to the media. She just stood quietly in the background, reading all the papers, following every news item, and always having dinner ready on time. "I never had to say anything. As soon as she walked into the room, I knew I had to calm down," Michael said. Mary was the only person who never had to raise her voice to make me listen. "When the lights go out, homie is the light." When Michael Parkinson announced that he would spend his time writing, gardening, and traveling with Mary, what he really wanted to do most was eat breakfast with her every day, without having to look at his phone or his TV schedule. The small house in Berkshire where he lived with Mary for nearly 40 years was not decorated with portraits of famous people, but with paintings by his grandchildren, handwritten letters, and shelves full of old books, including Mary's daily diary that he secretly read when she was away. She once wrote, "Michael may be a famous man in the outside world, but to me he is just a husband who makes the best tea." "I cried when I read that.